Nothing about Granblue Fantasy Relink is great. Which is great. Let me explain. When compared to the extraordinary heights achieved by AAA games today, Granblue Fantasy Relink comes close in several parts, but never reaches those same heights. Yet I feel like Granblue Fantasy Relink has something special about it that those games don't have. You can see it by looking at how it handles its individual parts. Just look at the game art. I don't remember the last time I played a video game where I felt like the art was of its own. Indie games of this genre use the already well-established pixel art, while AAA games try to look as realistic as humanly possible. Even when stylized, AAA tries very hard to make its characters look like people. Yes, there are plenty of JRPGs in between these two extremes, but their art styles don't feel like something that is unique to that game itself. The Pokemon series has a unique art style, but it's highly reiterative. Several JRPG series like Ys, Trails of, and Atelier have a generic anime style where it's blending several unique anime styles together. Now, Granblue Fantasy Relink does come very close to that generic anime style, but I believe it's the visual aspects that separate it. Like the way the eyes and facial features look consistent with each character, the way the game renders to make the colors of the clothes pop, and the unique hairstyles given to every character. It makes the game stand apart. Now, does Granblue Fantasy look as good as some of the best in the genre? Hell no, but it's an original look. Some may discredit the game's originality because it has action-focused gameplay instead of traditional turn-based, and attempts to appeal to a much wider audience, but personally, I don't feel like this is the case. Cygames first made a mobile game, then a fighting game, and now I feel like they genuinely want to make a console action game. The reason I believe this is that they really put the gameplay front and center. You really feel their passion about it as you play. You can almost hear the quarter going into the arcade machine while you're playing. And as much as I hate to admit it, the gameplay is really solid. Both the playable characters and the enemies have weight to them, and when an attack hits, it feels right. Not to say that the game doesn't have story or character, it does, but it goes alongside its combat. Granblue Fantasy Relink has made me feel that high fantasy, escapist fiction vibe in a video game of this caliber for the first time in a very long time. This is a game that we are in desperate need of today. A game with an original IP from a studio filled with passion and a decent budget behind it. In my last video, I talked about the gap between indie and AAA, and that it's been since the 90s since studios have given money to creative new talents. Yet, here's money being given to creative new talents and their ideas in 2024. The beautiful thing about this is you don't have to take my word for it. The developers put out a spoiler-free demo you can play for free right now, which is where I gathered my thoughts for this video. Get your hands on it yourself and decide whether or not you will take the plunge at the end of this month. Love it or hate it, let's all take a deep breath and be thankful that a game like this exists.